A cold front hits the Western and Eastern Cape. 12 new parliamentarians have been voted in. MK's former Secretary General, Floyd Shivambu, was not one of them. What happened? And Zambia's former president, Edgar Lungu, cannot be buried in South Africa. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton. A Sangoma arrested in connection with the murder of a 2-year-old has told the Vanderbijl Park Magistrates Court that he'll be abandoning his bail application. Sebokwanye Kwanyana appeared in court today alongside Kinelwe Shalaba, the mother of the deceased 2-year-old. The two faced charges of kidnapping and premeditated murder in connection with the child's disappearance.
Behind me is the Vanderbijl Park Magistrates Court in the Vaal. This is the court tasked with the responsibility of prosecuting a mother and a traditional healer charged with premeditated murder and the kidnapping of a 2-year-old child. The story begins in the Buibatong township in the Vaal, where a mother, Kinelwe Shalaba, goes to the police and reports that her child, Kutlwano Shalaba, has been kidnapped. However, days later, she is arrested for being involved in the disappearance of her child. She is then charged with the kidnapping of her own child, making a false statement to the police, and on a separate matter, conspiracy to commit a robbery. After police investigations, it is found that on the day her child was kidnapped, she received a sum of 75,000 rand in her account. In May this year, phone records then link Kinelwe Shalaba to a traditional healer known as Sebokwanye Kwanyana, who then takes the police to the buried body of Kutlwano Shalaba in Beggersdal, south of Gauteng. Police then charge both of them with the kidnapping and the premeditated murder of Kutlwano Shalaba. The two of them will remain in custody until the 6th of August. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News, Vanderbijl Park Magistrates Court in the Vaal.
Nduduzi Nisi, the man accused of murdering 14-year-old Lucona Fors, will spend another week in jail following the postponement of his bail bid. Nisi made a brief appearance at the Roodepoort Magistrates Court this morning, where his girlfriend was expected to take the stand on his defence, as she just didn't arrive. During proceedings yesterday, Nisi claimed he was at her home the night Fors was killed. The teen's mutilated body was found a day after she was reported missing in Durban Deep. The hearing has been adjourned to the 2nd of July for further bail investigation. The Disaster Risk Management Operations Centre is receiving requests for flood kits in Luandle, Makassar and Khayelitsha in the Western Cape. The adverse weather conditions continue with many streets in the province flooding. The Informal Settlements Management Branch has also received an escalated request for flood kits.
Officials are also conducting assessments at New Culture along Meerway in Khayelitsha, following reports of wind damage, and in Vygeskraal, where a canal has overflowed. We've also received reports that a canal in Wolmeran Street in Southfield has reached capacity and is overflowing.
Shoreline anglers, sailors and coastal walkers are being warned to be cautious around the coast as a cold front has made landfall.
The South African Weather Services have issued alerts forecasting high winds, heavy sea conditions with waves of 4 to 6 meters. Rough sea conditions are being experienced.
The Eastern Cape Provincial Government is urging residents to prepare for extremely cold and windy conditions as the intense cold front moves into the province from Thursday. The warning comes as flood-hit communities, particularly in the OR Tambo district, continue to rebuild after heavy rains and flash floods claimed more than 100 lives earlier this month. Many homes remain destroyed and dozens of families are still living in temporary shelters.
As search and recovery operations come to an end for today, tomorrow rescue personnel prepare for a grueling day as a cold front sets in the Eastern Cape, bringing along with it the possibility of snow and rainfall in several parts of the province. Now, today's operation did not yield many results, as search and rescue personnel did not discover any bodies. However, in a positive turn of events, rescue personnel have now zoned in on a collapsed bridge where they believe that the bodies of 2 young children aged 12 and 8 may be trapped under the rubble. At the same time, the Eastern Cape Provincial Government is set to brief the media and provide an update on the total number of deceased and, of course, efforts to assist those who have been displaced seeking refuge in shelters provided by several governmental departments. The total number of missing people has not yet been shared with the public, with the death toll still expected to rise. Mungi Zikoko, Eyewitness News, Mthatha West, in the Eastern Cape.
Residents at Gauteng have been urged to brace themselves for cold temperatures that'll set in on Friday. The South African Weather Service warns that there may be damaging winds which can lead to veld fires.
It's just a drop in temperatures. We don't have rainfall that's expected with the system. Cold temperatures are expected in Gauteng from Friday, but into Saturday. And Sunday, you can start seeing a pickup and a development into back to winter conditions.
12 new parliamentarians have appeared in the National Assembly this afternoon after being sworn in by the Speaker today. 9 of those MPs will be filling vacant seats of the Umkhonto we Sizwe party, while another 3 from the Patriotic Alliance will be replacing members who've been redeployed by the party. But Floyd Shivambu wasn't one of them.
Because we do come from different parties, we will differ about sometimes how we see things on the issues that is being debated, but what is important is to do that in a manner that still respects one another.
The Pretoria High Court has ordered that the burial of Zambia's former president, Edgar Lungu, in South Africa be stopped. The Attorney General of Zambia approached the court to halt Lungu's burial through an interim interdict. The court challenge was the latest move in a feud between the government and Lungu's family over his burial. The family wants a private ceremony in South Africa rather than a full state funeral at home, where Lungu has been embroiled in a long-standing feud with his successor, President Hakainde Hichilema. The ruling today comes as some family members gather at the Cathedral of Christ the King in Hillbrow, Johannesburg, where the funeral was set to take place. Lungu died earlier this month at a medical centre in Pretoria, where he'd been receiving specialised treatment. President Donald Trump has insisted that US strikes have led to the total obliteration of Iran's nuclear capabilities and set the country's atomic program back, quote, decades. But leaked US intelligence has cast doubt on the damage caused by American strikes, saying they'd set back Tehran's nuclear program by just a few months. This is Donald Trump at the NATO summit in the Netherlands.
They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like 2 kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easier to stop them.
The Gauteng government has removed 3 senior officials from their high-risk positions after they failed their lifestyle audits. Earlier this year, the provincial government roped in the Special Investigating Unit to conduct lifestyle audits on heads of departments, supply chain management officials, and other senior employees in high-risk roles. It was revealed 37% of them failed the audits and had to provide written reasons for the discrepancies in their lifestyles. Speaking at a media briefing in Johannesburg today, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says the SAU has completed the investigation into 4 HODs.
Of the 4 outstanding reports of these HODs, 3 of them came back again as failed audit outcome. And on the basis of this, I've taken a decision to immediately remove these HODs from their position. The DG will facilitate this process and will make the public announcement on the changes of the administrative head of department. This reaffirms our commitment to ensure that departments must be led by people with impeccable credentials.
Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus has selected Asenati Tlabakanya to start in the front row as the world champions kickstart their 2025 season against the Barbarians on Saturday. Erasmus lifted the lid on the props selection. The Bok coach insisted that he expects his team to perform their roles instead of creating an entertaining spectacle. And we wish them the best of luck. We're all going to be watching, and I'll see you for more again tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.